For ACUSports.com, I'm Grant Boone with women's head basketball coach Julie Goodenough. Her team has a rare off night in the Southland Conference. You get to watch the other teams beat up on each other, right, Coach?
We do, yeah. It's been nice just for our players really to catch their breath, try to recover, and our staff's been on the road recruiting the last two nights, so that's been helpful as well.
You are sitting at 9-4 in the league. You haven't mathematically wrapped up a spot in Katy, and I want to ask you about that in a second. But as you look back over your last couple of weeks of basketball, you have had some real nail-biters, a couple of which you've come out on the good end of, and one or two that didn't go the way that you'd hoped. But going back to Saturday, you're playing Incarnate Word, a team that's fighting and scratching and clawing to try to get into the tournament themselves. You're down one with 10 seconds to go, and you lean on a player who's really come up big for you this year, Sarah Williamson. She has 5 points in the last 10 seconds, and she helps win the game for you. You need games like that, don't you, coming down the stretch?
I think especially for our young team, we've experienced this season together, but those types of games, we didn't have one of those in our belt. And so I think it was really good to have that pressure at the end. And Sarah really had not played well at all in the first half. I think she was just trying too hard. It was a special and emotional game. Her mom was there, grandparents were there. It was our breast cancer awareness game, and I think she was just trying too hard in the first half. And so for her to take the heroic measures she did and score 5 points in the last 10 seconds of the game was awesome for Sarah, and just shows her maturity and her leadership for our team. But I think it was good for us to have to rely on really solid execution at the end of the game and be able to make some plays to come out with the win. And we may see more games like that. We've got 5 regular season games left. Hopefully we'll have some games in the tournament as well, and several of those games may come down to the wire. And so it's good for us just to have that experience and know that we can be successful in that situation.
Her mom, Sue, a cancer survivor. It was a little bit of a Hollywood ending. Let's talk about these next few games, 5 games, beginning on Saturday at Southeastern Louisiana. A couple of weeks ago, they beat Central Arkansas down there in Hammond. As we've learned, there are no tonight is an off night. That's the only kind of off night. There are no easy wins out there, are there?
No, absolutely not. I think any team is susceptible to a loss in our league, and any team can rise up and beat any team. And so you've really got to be not just physically ready to go, but you've got to be mentally tough and aware going into any game and be ready to execute. We've been talking about our last game against Southeastern. It was during Christmas break. It was a long time ago, a game in which neither team played defense whatsoever. It was 86-80 on our home court. We were just all having fun after Christmas break and scoring a lot of points. I think both teams are playing a lot better defense now, and so it'll come down to which team can execute the best against the other team's defense, and which team can play solid defense for 30 seconds if that's what it requires. And our team is progressively figuring that out. I think we've learned a lot of good lessons about 25 seconds of defense is not enough in a lot of situations, and that's what's caused us to be in some of these really close games where we're making teams run their offense for 24, 25 seconds, but we're not finishing the possession. And so that's what we're really going to be talking about the next couple of days, and especially when you're playing someone at home, you can't let them get second chance opportunities. You don't want to turn the ball over and give them transition layups, especially at home. They're going to make those. And so just taking care of the ball and defense are going to be really high on our priority list.
At the moment, you're 4th in the Southland Conference, and while you've been vying for regular season championships the last couple of years, and you've won them, this is the first time that Coach Golding and you have been in this situation of looking at standings for the purpose of wondering what the seed might be in the tournament, because we haven't been eligible for the tournament until this year. It bears repeating, top 2 men and women get 2 days off in the tournament. Seeds 3 and 4 get 1 day off in the tournament. Making the tournament is first and foremost, I know, but a top 4 seed would be huge, wouldn't it?
I think it's a huge advantage for you just to have your legs under you in that, the first game. It can be your opponent's second game of the tournament. I think it's a huge advantage to be able to rest a little bit. And we have talked to our team about that. A top 4 finish would be huge for our program in our first trip to Katy. But just to be able to take a day or 2 days off, just have legs, going into semifinals and finals, I think would be a huge advantage. We are are going to stop talking about the tournament with our team for a few days and just really focus on our next opponent. And, every game is so critical in whether you're going to make the tournament and you're seeding in the tournament that we really want our team to have tunnel vision right now and just take it one day at a time.
I'll talk about the tournament. And what I will say is that Saturday at Southeastern, if things fall correctly around the rest of the league, ACU could clinch a spot somewhere in the Southland Conference tournament with a victory. So it's ACU and Southeastern Louisiana, 2 o'clock on Saturday down in Hammond.